Duty stamps. It's a different case for beer. Excise duty fraud in the UK is a complex issue which affects tobacco and, to a lesser degree, all forms of alcohol, including spirits, beer and wine. In 2006, HMRC implemented fiscal marks for spirits. HMRC's latest alcohol fraud consultation seeks views on similar marks for beer, but not wine. Let's have a look at the potential impact for those involved in the beer supply chain, particularly those moving beer internationally. Let's start by looking at how duty stamps work for spirits. There are two types of duty-paid marks. Label fiscal marks. This is where the mark is part of the label design on the product. Or freestanding fiscal marks, which are, in effect, duty-paid stickers. Fiscal marks are applied to 400 million spirit bottles annually. That's just 7% of the 5.5 billion cans and bottles that would need to carry beer fiscal marks. A spirits packaging line typically runs at 3,000 to 20,000 bottles per hour. That's around 1/6 the speed of a beer packaging line. Fiscal marks are typically incorporated into the label design and are placed on bottles during bottling. Alternatively, foreign spirits suppliers can ask for freestanding fiscal marks to be sent to them abroad. This allows them to apply the stickers before bottles are placed in secondary packaging. This means the process can be automated but slows the bottling line. A final option is for freestanding fiscal marks to be applied manually when bottles arrive in the UK. A costly and impractical solution, but one that remains cost-effective due to the high value of each bottle. Now let's look at the comparative impact of fiscal marks for beer. Beer is a bulky product. The business case is heavily reliant on economies of scale and highly automated, efficient processes to remain cost-effective. Did you know that a packaging line can fill between 40,000 to 120,000 cans or bottles of beer per hour? That's up to 2,000 cans per minute. Label fiscal marks may be applied on a packaging line in the UK or abroad. Any requirement to open secondary packaging to check fiscal marks had correctly been applied could have significant practical and cost implications. The alternative of sticking freestanding fiscal marks on beer prior to insertion in secondary packaging reduces line speeds. Experience suggests by up to a half. Anything that slows line speeds raises questions over viability of the business case for that brand. Beer is far more sensitive than spirits to this issue. These factors may mean it is not cost-effective to produce certain beers in smaller quantities. Foreign brewers exploring the UK market for their brands could be particularly hard hit. This leaves the theoretic option of manually applying freestanding marks. Manual labelling would require unwrapping the pallet, unpacking the product, and carefully applying the fiscal mark before repacking and resealing. This would have serious time and cost implications. There would also be quality issues with placing the stamp. Just one breakage would compromise the entire carton, as the other bottles would be contaminated with beer and broken glass. Brewers supplying smaller volumes would have to cease supply rather than apply freestanding tax stamps manually in the UK, as this option would be highly impractical and cost prohibitive. UK consumers would face reduced number and variety of beer brands. And it's not only importers that could be affected. some UK brewers and distributors would need to apply blackout labels to obscure UK duty-paid marks on product for export. This process cannot be automated, and manual application of blackout labels would not be cost-effective. These small but important export sales would be lost. Spirits bottles sold in the UK with fiscal marks would be just 7% compared to the number of cans and bottles of beer. The cost of applying a fiscal mark as a percentage of the sale price of a 70 centilitre bottle of spirits is a fraction compared to that for a 33 centilitre bottle of beer. Any business forced to apply freestanding fiscal marks manually simply could not compete. Fiscal marks would be a major disruption to an industry where margins are tight, but which currently contributes £11 billion in taxes to the Exchequer.